And welcome back, everyone. Do I have an interesting treat for y'all? So, for those of you that are not aware, which I doubt a lot of people watching this are going to be, except for a very select few, March is my birthday month. I was born in March. I am a March baby. And one of my favorite games of all time is Metroid. Specifically, Metroid Prime 2 if you're talking about the Prime trilogy, and Metroid Fusion if you're talking about the 2D trilogy. Don't worry, Super Metroid's like number 2. But I like the style of Metroid Fusion, but I love the gameplay of Super Metroid. Just that kind of explains it. Anyway, so I'm coming back to Metroid Prime 2 Echoes because a lot of times when I play the Metroid series, I play them pretty vanilla. I don't really mod them. I don't really change anything or anything outside of the basic vanilla principles that are already there. With the rare exception of messing with randomizers. Now, throughout the years, I've looked up countless mods for games and just seen what you can do with them. Whether it be games of the old, where you do like cheats with like Game Shark and Game Genie and stuff like that, to simple file swaps and stuff like that for customizing your character in certain things in certain games. Now, beyond that, I haven't really found anything for Metroid. I mean, if you look into something like Beat Saber, where you do custom songs, custom avatars, custom sabers and stuff like that, there really isn't anything for Metroid other than the simple ROM hacks where, some things get changed around, which on its own, that's technically a mod, but each are so unique in what they do. There's not really something you just slightly tweak to the original game and leave it, with certain exceptions like Super Metroid Redesign or Super Metroid Impossible, where all it is just it's the same game, just a lot more difficult. So, taking that idea, looking into it, I found this. This is Metroid Prime 2 Echoes Double Trouble. Basically, this ups the enemies. It makes it way more difficult in some areas and extremely, I don't want to say challenging. It makes it interesting in certain areas. And it brings up a lot of different questions, like like certain bosses, because it's not limited to just the regular enemies. No, the bosses are multiplied too. So the question is, how many different encounters are you going to have with regular enemies? Like maybe the Bomb Guardian, for example. How many of those are you going to see? Or scale it up, extreme. Like, how many Dark Samus fights are you going to see? How many Quadraxis parts are there now going to be? Just because, like, is it 2 giant Quadraxis forms that you're going to fight? Or is it the same one with 2 heads or 3 heads or, mix and match? I know nothing of this mod other than the fact that a couple screenshots showed there were a lot more alpha splinters, and there was I'm trying to remember. Suddenly it's left my head. There was I think it was 2 alpha blocks. Again, this was like last year looking into this, so there was a good couple months between finding the mod and trying to figure out how to apply it. So, being that it's my birthday month, I want to play something for me, and this is what I'm going to do. Now, unlike Sly Cooper, where it was broken up in like little 40-minute segments to play the whole game, which that different parts, I'm going to try to get through this game quick. I don't want to spend the next month playing this mod. I want to try to explore and play some things for fun through, March. Now, unlike the other playthroughs when I do Metroid, where I try to get 100% scan rate, get 100% of the items and stuff, I just want to see if this will make it to the end. Can I go from point A to point B without it crashing? And I'm just going to go through it casually. I'm just going to get what I feel I need and make it to the end. And can I survive doing that? So, with that in mind, welcome to Metroid Prime 2 Echoes Double Trouble. Now, in most of my videos, that's probably the most I've ever talked. Now, if I go silent while playing, I sincerely apologize. A lot of this I'm mainly just focusing on as I get here. Because the only way I can explain it is like being stuck in a museum. I'm getting to exhibit the same things that most people are. I'm just sitting there going, ooh, ah, that looks interesting. That looks fun. How the hell did they do that? So, here I am. God, I'm really not used to talking this much. I feel like I'm being annoying right now. Wait, I just realized that there's little barcodes on the gate. Yeah, look at that. There is a legit little barcode on the gate. I'm not crazy. Y'all see that too, right? Now keep in mind, I'm playing this on an emulator because the file is modded, and I have upped the resolution of a lot of things, so this is playing closer to 720 1080p. Any higher and it starts to run weird, and I don't mean that the system can't handle it, it's more like the emulator itself doesn't know how to decode stuff like that. So it starts to break down and react and all this sort of stuff. So this is the cleanest I can get it without it messing up textures, for example, or the emulator doesn't know how to decode a lot of that stuff fast enough for that look. And here's your first example that the mod is working. Look at how many of those splinters there are, just for this room. Oh, one of the other pictures I saw of this was, I believe, the Alpha Splinter. There was like 3 of them? Alright, judging by all the bodies, I can already tell you that there's going to be a good number of Dark Troopers. Now, fun fact, I've tried to play this several times. I've tried to record this several times, and I keep having issues. Now, it's not the game, it's the user. I keep having problems trying to actually make it through a recording without something going wrong. So, I am excited to actually be here and play this. In a ways, I could say Metroid March is back with this. Seeing as the first video of March is technically going to be a VR video. Which is funny, because I could technically change that. It is 7:22 a.m. on March 1st. So I find it funny that I've been unable to play this game until literally the first day of March. Neat. Anyway, moving on. Here? God, that's right. This hidden one over here. Now, fun fact about this mod, I don't remember what the file type is called. I think it's called a Delta file. But essentially, someone had to go in and purposefully modify this game to do all this. And they can't share, because of copyright laws and stuff like that, they can't just give you the ISO for the game. For those of you that are unfamiliar with anything to do with emulation, there are all sorts of file types for games. Usually it's a difference between cartridges and CDs. If you have a CD-based game, it's an ISO. If you have a cartridge-based game, it's a ROM. Usually, it doesn't apply to every file. Every system's unique. Sometimes you get stuff like PlayStation, for example, which has .cue and .bin files. So, you know, kind of keep that in your understanding of certain files. Anyway, so to create this mod, someone had to go in purposefully, manually do all this, and then create a file that basically sat there and said, I want you to copy all the changes from this, but I don't want you to copy the game. I want you to understand the original code and the new code, and I want you to copy only the new code. and then you, the person that is accepting this new code, whatever, you have to sit there and find a file that matches exactly what that original code was. In my case, it had to be a specific version of the game from a specific type of CD that that person that created it had. And then you have to use a program that decodes the changes in the original and applies the changes to the original. A long-winded way of saying that took me 4 months to figure out. And I think what was worse, actually, was the fact that a lot of this I never knew about when it came to trying to figure this out. So, like, yes, I understood there were different versions of the game. Because, I mean, there had to be separate versions that are like, oh, this one's for Japan only, this one's for North America, like PAL, NTSCU, NTSCJ, and stuff like that. So I understood there had to be different versions. The problem came in identifying those versions. How do I know what version the person who made this had? How do I know what version I have? That's where the real challenge in this came. And then trying to legally, I want to stress this, legally acquire the correct version so that way I can intentionally apply these changes to it. Also, just as a side note, I am in the boat that majority of people are. I really hope Nintendo does a Prime 2 remaster. I mean, they did a Prime 1 remaster and they shadow dropped that out of nowhere. I would love to see the same thing for Prime 2. Actually, I don't even know what made them shadow drop the first one in the first place. Because it's not like they did it out of the goodness of their hearts in the sense of like, oh, it's an anniversary or something. So, I mean, I could be wrong about that. All I know is I was there, they shadow dropped, and a lot of people went question mark. Me myself, I was just surprised Pikachu face. I'm not gonna lie, I still can't get over the fact that I see little barcodes in the gate, and I think I see it again there. I think there's multiple doors of that type. Maybe I can find another one where I see that. Or maybe I can just look down as I cross. Okay. Is it another barcode thing? It is. It is a poorly digitized barcode. Game making is always an interesting concept to me. Because I mean, if you think about it, it's really beautiful work. A lot of people are trying to create and customize ideas from their imagination or from inspiration of ideas that are symbolisms from around them. Like for me, what inspiration had to happen for this thing to blow up? I was gonna say up here, but yeah. Like, I don't know. Just the stuff that goes into this. I miss these kinds of games. Hell, you could call me an old fart now. I miss the times when you would go to the store, you would come home and play the damn game. You didn't have to worry about some stupid complicated thing that like, oh, you gotta have an update or a patch or a DLC just to continue. I mean, hell, originally when DLCs were a thing introduced early on, for me, that introduction was in the 360 era. But I don't know, just something never sat right with me with DLC. Like, I understand the early concept of it. It's like, well, maybe something wasn't able to be brought into the game. You have a better idea later or something to fix the game or make it better. Since then, DLC doesn't seem like a way to help. It seems like a way to cut corners. Why would I ship you the full game when I can sell you 1/3 of it and make you pay twice for the rest? That's kind of what it feels like nowadays. And to tell you the truth, I am deeply disturbed by it. Now, not all DLC is bad, I will admit that. There are some pretty good exceptions to that. But usually, a lot of the time, it's very... I don't know. Seems very sketchy. One of the times, and being a Destiny fan, this is going to sound very bad to me, most DLCs for Destiny feel very... not sketchy, but like... I don't know. It feels very disingenuous. The idea is, you know, it's a live service game, so of course the game is going to constantly get updated and pushed in such a way to help improve it, right? Well, if you're paying all this money, and if you're like me, I buy most of the DLC stuff well in advance before it even comes out. So whenever something new, like the latest stuff that came out, Renegades, I didn't pay for it. I had already paid quite literally months down the line before it even came out. Like, the minute they usually announce, like, hey, Edge of Fate's a thing, you know, put in your $100 here to have, you know, the next 2 years, essentially. I'm like, hell yeah, let me put that money down. But more often than not, it feels like I don't even know how I want to explain it. It feels like making a reservation for a restaurant, but you have to pay first to get into the door. Once you get into the restaurant, you're having to sit there and buy the food before you even get the chance to order the food. So it's like, hey, would you like a sandwich? Oh, what kind of sandwich? We can't really tell you. But we can tell you what part of it's going to have. And then as soon as you realize, like, oh, you're essentially being sold a chicken sandwich. You realize they swapped the chicken for beef. They swapped the lettuce for romaine. I can't speak. They swapped the lettuce for romaine. They took off the mayo and gave you ketchup and mustard. And it sounds like, oh, that all sounds really good changes, right? You know, they took the mayo and gave me more. And it's like, no, they kind of gave you two minor things just to make it seem big. They took the main selling point, which was the chicken, and they completely swapped it for something else. Now, the beef is still good, don't get me wrong. But I just gave you the insides. I never even told you about the outside. I never told you about the buns. So how did you know that the sandwich was going to come with buns? I never said it was. It's not disingenuous. It's a sandwich. It's got all the contents of the sandwich, but there's nothing centering it. There's nothing holding them. And that's what literally every DLC feels like to me when it comes to Destiny. Yeah, the main selling point might be good. I might enjoy it later. But it never have anything that really encapsulates me. I've had stuff that, like, when I explain it to you like that there's beef, there's condiments and stuff like that to it. You could almost rearrange it and be like, oh, it's a salad. But you still never get the original sandwich that you thought you were going to get. And that's the other terrible thing that Destiny does with their DLCs, because they give you so little information. Most of the time you're having to sit there and guess what you're going to get. Or you hype it up in your mind like, oh, you know, I've been waiting and paying so much for this, it's going to be the best sandwich I ever get. Only to realize they sold you something that was incomplete, that after your initial visit, you know, where you pay, you order, you sit, you wait, only to realize you have to come back another day just to get your food. You come back another day, get part of it, and then have to pay again to go down the line again for another order, only to realize that for your next order, you get the stuff that you're supposed to receive the first time. So your new order is more complete than your original, because your original was missing it, so you get it in this one. So while, yes, your second visit was a sandwich this time, it's technically incomplete because of the fact that you're getting what you're supposed to get the first time. You know, I never realized that hole was there. I never realized I could see the missile down below. I always thought I could destroy that. But I believe that's a bomb slot only door. Damn, I've been talking for like 20 minutes. This is a new surprising first for me. I don't know where all this talking energy came from. Maybe it's the fact that I'm excited for this DLC and I won't shut the hell up about it. But then again, I haven't really talked much about it. I haven't really had any caffeine today. Oh well. Okay, so double the enemies and 2 alpha splinters. I know one thing that just hit me. Going to Sanctuary Fortress or going to Tortoisebog and dealing with the bloglings and the blogs, or the, I actually don't remember their names, the walking robots with the heads. Those are going to be a nightmare to deal with, I just thought about. Just because there's going to be so damn many of them. I wonder if the behaviors have to be changed or if they're the exact same for this. They almost imitate and initiate at the same time, whether they realize they are or not. So I wonder if the code is overlaying in such a way and executing at the same time, even though both are receiving external stimuli that are independent of each other. Nope, that just proved it. I've got him stun locked on the corner, but the other one is still moving, rolling, and attacking without the other one. Or maybe it's because he was stun locked because his health bar was done, but the other one was not, so he's waiting to be affected. Unfortunately, unable to, so he's triggered and locked to a position while waiting for his counterpart to actually catch up. Unable to receive more damage and unable to be triggered further. I just watched that he slip forward. Wait, so if I finish the health bar on this one and not the other one, does it end it for both? It's not 2 separate health bars. It is 2 separate health bars. Ah, that is interesting. Yeah, I don't die in a fight that easily. Prime 4 kind of showed that. I don't know why I was expecting to have 2 translator modules. Sympathies for you. By the way, if you're interested in this and haven't seen the original video, I can sum it up this way. They existed peacefully for hundreds of years until randomly a meteor hit their planet. Somehow hitting their planet so hard that it split them dimensionally. So there's now a light version of them and a dark version of the planets. On the dark version, from the meteor, came these weird creatures. It turned out that instead of being peaceful, they were full of hate. So they've been at war each other for the longest time. But in order to counteract the different energies of the different dimensions, they built these little stabilizers here with the planetary energy. Long story short, if one side gets all the energy, the other one is doomed. But this planet is on its last leg with this energy that we're sitting underneath. So there's 3 temples, 3 locations we got to go to get those energies, and then we have to get their version of this temple's energy. So there's 4 temples we have to hit, but only 3 here. So, being the last hope, we're gonna go help them out. I was about to ask what am I locking onto, but it seems I'm locking on the enemies in the walls. Oh, my thumb is going to get so tired in this game. Oh yeah, that's right. For those of you that are unaware, the GameCube has a big green button for the letter A, essentially. And in order to fire, I have to hit that button as many times as you see that cannon firing. So if I'm shooting a bunch of times, I'm tapping the button as hard as I possibly can. Yeah. Come on. Next thing. Yeah, let me go grab this energy tank real quick and then I'll deal with that. Not gonna lie, I'm also noticing with so many enemies, they're starting to get larger on that heat map on the radar there. So instead of having like little tiny orange blobs, they're now almost turning white because there's so many. Oh, one didn't get infected. There's so many, it couldn't actually infect them all. Sorry, this is just fascinating to me. Because I'm not looking at this as a game anymore. This is more like an experiment now. I'm just waiting for all the changes to occur and seeing how they react. It's like watching a petri dish change colors in real time. It's fascinating to me. Get off my back. What's weird is I'm technically fighting certain habits from the randomizer. Because I'm trying not to go scan those holograms to get hints for abilities that technically don't exist for me like that. Also, it just hit me that texture is the 12 artifacts from Metroid 1. pirates aren't commanded to fire. That's just another sitting in the place. Don't know what to do. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this feels like an actual pirate, like, reaction to me. They would put all their efforts into fighting me. Which kind of feels proven when you look at Prime 3. How many pirates show up there. Huh. I was about to say, it feels weird. They didn't really double the enemies here. But they did. They just put one on every conceivable surface that they walk on. Damn it, I didn't name it right. Did that time. Oh god, that's a lot of shriek bats. Feels like a weird carnival game. Getting very close to dying in each fight seems to be a theme. Also, if you're curious what he said, basically he gave us a small introduction of who he is, told us that, by the way, there's this dark portal nearby that we can use to go to their place. In there we'll find crystals to survive, and on top of that we need to find 3 specific crystals that are actually keys to unlock the actual way to their planetary energies, so that way we can transfer it back to ours. Nope, not dealing with that many wasps. Couldn't pay me. That's right, the entourage of shriek bats here. And they all heat-seeked onto that one part of the bridge. Righty. So what's behind door number 1? More missiles. Let's use those. This is also where the randomizer programming comes in handy, because I know there's an enemy. I know there's an ability right here. It's another missile expansion. Yay! Yeah, that's the thing about randomizers. You have to know where everything is, so you know what the possibility of anything can be at any time. Will y'all stop nailing me with perfect precision here? You're allowed to miss every now and then. Not gonna lie, I don't remember the blob being that big. So I'm gonna have to seek out energy tanks more often. That's great. I know where all the items are, I don't know what each item is. So this is gonna be a little tricky from memory. I don't know why I thought I could go right. I'm so used to randomizers having like double jump or bomb jump, so I'm just like, yeah, I can go right. Oh wait, I can't just go straight to the boss. Oh wait, I'm saving. You think the video's over? The video's not over yet. I've still got a boss to fight. Nah, I couldn't do that. I don't have time. Alright, here's the boss. And no cheating at this time either. I'm having to play it the original vanilla way. Question is now, is there 1, is there 2, is there 3? I don't remember regular aim during this fight. It does certainly spice it up. Gotta be not the only one. mechanic they have for the fight. The program's smaller and then these spawn, depending on how long the fight is. I need to figure out who made this mod because I need to credit them down below because this this is a work of art. I will greatly admit that. Curious, do I get double the healing? Nope. Still the same rate. Huh, I just noticed there's a distinct lack of wasp hives yet. That's right, there's no sponge beds. You know, it just hit me. That door behind me was a missile door. I already shot that missile door, so why is this one a missile door? Because I never went into it? To come out this way? Rewind the video. I shot this door. So why is it a missile door out? The world may never know. Actually, wait. I need to go back for something. Anything to do with health and ammo, I need to seek out. Maybe not the missiles so much, but definitely like beam expansions and stuff like that. They somehow shot me enough to keep me from getting on the platform. Yeah, that's new. Remember, kids, smarter, not harder. Different cannons are there? The fact that they somehow managed to get the cannons to be somewhere else and modify them to work is really cool. This actually kind of feels like the way it's supposed to be. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm still making the decision on the fly. I think I'm gonna go for until this region is done. Until I finish Aegon Race. Which, if I do that, this is gonna be one of the longest recordings I think I've ever done. Recording-wise, not stream, upload, all that sort of stuff. I mean legit one of the longest recordings I've done. And that's saying something, because I know how long my zombies ones are. Somehow the space pirate died. Okay. You know what? I think I've made my decision. I'm gonna go till the next save. I think I'm gonna make these about roughly an hour and 15 minutes. Seems about. If I do it right, each region can be done in 3 parts. They just hit me. They doubled the enemies in the tubes. So I mean, there's double in there. Nope, still the same 3 bouncing around the pirate. For some reason I have 2 pirates and 6 Metroids in there, but yeah. Let me guess, they put the turret in the other hallway. No, they doubled it up, but the question is where they put it. Right behind me. Flying pirates. Now for a puzzle. Alright. Health first. wonder why locking on there swung me across the room like that. And here I am, if not a man of my word. Hour and 15 minutes later, and right at the save point. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care now.